With graphics like that, this guy must work out. Hello folks, thought I would show you my little bee setup here. I didn't film me setting these loose when I got them. There's some scraps in this tub from a tear out that I did. And we've had nothing but rain, so I put a cover over it, and they're still able to get up underneath the tin and rob the honey and the comb out. But the purple and blue hive was a nuke, a 5-frame nuke that I bought, and then I put a package in the green and red hive. And I started out with just the deeps. I put the honey supers, or the mediums, on there, which is the red and the light blue, after they'd been established about a month. So my little horror story on how this went. We went to the place I bought the bees, and they had a hive open. There was probably 30 people stacked around an area. I mean, there was a lady there with a baby, and people were standing all over the hive. So it was the first time I'd been near an actual live beehive other than just watching YouTube videos. So I kind of had a false impression that all bees were just gentle and loving. So when I got home, I did put my veil on and my gloves, but it was overcast, and almost the second I opened the nuke box, huge raindrops started falling. And of course, that just pissed them off, and they went and attacked me like crazy because I was wearing shorts. So I got tore up. My legs probably got stung about 7-8 times. But the nuke was wide open, and the package was exposed, and it was raining slightly. So luckily it was just a small storm cloud. It passed. I don't think we got but just a handful of raindrops, but it was just enough to piss them off. So I put on everything I needed and came back and got the nuke put into the purple box, and then I put another 5 frames in there because the nuke came with 5 frames that were built out with a queen. And they were pissy, and they're still pissy. That purple and blue box is my most despised task. I come out and check them every Sunday evening, and they're still just real testy. They get stirred up real easily. The other box was the package, and I put them in there. I put the frame, the little box that the queen came in between the frames, and then I set her in there and came back I think Monday evening, and they still hadn't chewed the little candy cork out, so I ended up having to pull it out with a pocket knife, put her in there, and that hive's real gentle. So I don't know if it's like having kids, you're never going to have 2 the same, but the green hive is taken off. They haven't quite filled the brood box up, but they've built out probably 5 or 6 frames in there, and they're already working on some honey stores up in the medium. So both colonies are pretty well established. I have seen the queen in the green box. She was marked. I have not located the queen in the purple and blue box in a while. They're so testy and pissy, honestly, when I get them open. They make them hard to work with, especially trying to see with a veil on. I believe I did mark that queen. It was already marked, I think, in the nuke, but I haven't actually located it. I have noticed that there was larvae in there, and there's been larvae every time I've checked them. Every week I come out here and check them, and there's larvae in there, so I know that she's in there and she's laying. They're filling up probably 3 or 4 frames of honey on the medium, and they've already built out 4 of the, or 2, at least 3 of the other frames that I put in there. So they seem to be doing well. I haven't seen the queen, but from one research I've been doing, you don't actually need to find the queen, you just need to find evidence that you have a laying queen. So she is laying, and like I said, I guess they're just testy bees, because when I put smoke on them, it seems like that just ticks them off, and they just go in an uproar. They don't calm down, they just get more agitated. But with the green and red hive, I smoke them, they calm down, I can work with them. I could probably work with them without a veil on, but I've still got the ones from the blue and purple hide pinging me since I'm close to theirs. So I am thinking about moving these hives. They are in the sun. The only box I seen hive beetles in was this box, which was the one that came with the nuke, so I take it the hive beetles probably came from where I bought them at. I haven't seen any hive beetles in the other box, but it was only one hive beetle. And here in central Arkansas, we get nasty, nasty hot summers. Usually in July and August, up through the middle of September, it's nothing to get to 100 plus degrees with just scorching humidity. So from what I had read, putting your beehives out in the sun prevents hive beetles because they like the moisture, I guess. But then most every person I keep up with on YouTube, their hives are along the edge of a pasture, and they're usually up close to the tree line. So I'm not real sure what I'm going to do there. This is out in the open. I mean, we're surrounded by trees. But I could, I guess, back them up over here and put them somewhere. I have nothing but hilly ground out here, so no matter what I do, I've got to build it at an angle. I had to dig out just to make room for that hive setup. So other little things I learned, I actually need a wider base, because when I take the hive cover and the inner cover off, and then I want to take the medium off to get down in the brood box, between that and my smoker and everything else, there's not really a whole lot of room to work up there. And that's probably just me being the newbie, but I would like to have a little more workspace there. I am in the process of doing a cutout. I've got a video posted about that. What bees I was able to recover off that will end up going into probably a little 5-frame nuke that I'll put in between these two. So then I'll really be crunched for space. So probably the next video I post, I'll have a bigger stand up here to set them in. But for right now, this has worked pretty well. I have noticed that there's as with anything you watch online or videos you see of stuff, it's always seems a lot easier than when you do it in person. Especially wearing gloves, it's real hard to set the frames back in the box without squashing the bees, or pulling the inner cover off without squashing bees, especially when you're jerking trying to get the propolis off. So maybe that's just part of it. You're going to squash bees. But with that agitated box, every time I squash one, they all get in a frenzy. So they apparently got really good pheromones that they send out. So the other box seems to be a little more patient with me. But that is something I learned. It's a little more difficult trying to get those frames down in there without squashing. I did buy some frame grippers. I didn't bring them up here with me today. But I'm hoping that kind of helps. Instead of trying to hold both ends of the frames, I can hold it in the middle and kind of jostle it back and forth a little bit and hopefully get the bees out of the way. So far looking pretty good. I don't know if we're in a Darth right now or not. There are still some flowers blooming. We don't have a whole lot of blooming trees in this area. There's some dogwoods, but they really stop blooming late April, early May. So probably what they are getting is going to be from local flowers. I planted some wildflowers in our pasture area. So we'll see. I may end up having dirt and rock flavored honey, but so far that's my bee experience. Appreciate it.
This guy needs to be a poster child for birth control. If you like that video, hit subscribe.